But if you are vaccinated and then get COVID, like how protected are you from the virus?
I was tagged in that post, and thank you for asking a genuine question. So to answer this question, let's think about what happens when you are exposed to the SARS-CoV-2 virus when you are a vaccinated person. So you're exposed to somebody who's COVID-19 positive. Virus enters your nasal cavity. The spike proteins on the virus try to find the ACE2 receptors on your cells to bind to and enter your cells to start replicating. But since you're a vaccinated person, you have antibodies specifically for the receptor binding domain of the spike protein floating around. So those circulating antibodies are going to bind to the spike protein, effectively neutralizing those viruses and stopping them from entering your cells. Now, depending on the amount of virus you're exposed to, the amount of circulating antibodies you have from the vaccine may not be enough to neutralize every single viral particle that enters your system. But let's say the antibodies neutralize 75% of all the virus particles that enter. That leaves, say, 25% of the virus particles to actually enter your cells, start replicating, and then go on to infect other cells. So right there already, you can see that the amount of effective virus that you were being infected with is much less than what you were initially exposed to. But then what kicks in is your adaptive immune response a few days later, which is your B cell and your T cell response. So your B cells are going to make more antibodies, and then your cytotoxic T cells are going to go find those infected cells and kill them. Now, how does that translate clinically? That means that your symptom burden is going to be much less, duration of symptoms will be much shorter, your body's going to clear the virus much faster, and you are not going to progress to more severe illness, hospitalization, or death. That is how these vaccines work. They essentially give your body a head start. So now let's think what happens if you're unvaccinated and you have no antibodies circulating and you get exposed to the SARS-CoV-2 virus. That means you don't have that head start. You don't have those circulating antibodies already there to help neutralize virus upon exposure. That means you'll have worse symptoms, longer duration of illness, because this is going to be the first time your body's exposed and everything's starting from scratch. And there's no pre-existing B or T cell memory that you otherwise would get from the vaccines, which means it's going to take several more days for that adaptive immune response to kick in, because again, it has to start from scratch. So when I hear people say things like, oh, I trust my immune system, I don't need the vaccine, I also trust my immune system, and that's why I chose to get vaccinated, because I trust that my immune system will know what to do when exposed to an antigen that is presented by the vaccine. It will give me a head start to be proactive as opposed to reactive if I get exposed to the SARS-CoV-2 virus. So I hope that helps answer your question.